Welcome back to Apiary here at Metropolitan Community College on the Fort Omaha campus. My name's Tyler again. We're here on the 24th of June, a really nice sunny day after a week of some rain and a little cooler temperatures. Our Langstroth hive here is really busy and we're going to be going into it. We looked at it 2 weeks ago and saw that we had most of our hive bodies starting to get filled up, a really healthy population of bees. So today it's pretty certain that we're going to be putting on this honey super, but I just want to talk about that process and kind of walk through that for you. So a honey super is just half the size, half the depth of a normal hive body, and these are kind of the boxes we use to manage honey flow and honey harvest. So we'll be putting on more of these boxes as the summer progresses. And while we're putting on boxes, we're also evaluating boxes that have been on and taking off the ones that are full and capped full of honey. So this is a box that we had last year that we used for honey production. And it was harvested with a knife. We cut off the top of the frame, or top of the wax cap, put the frame inside a centrifuge and spun the honey out. So you can see we have empty wax cells here. It's a little dirty, there's a little bit of mess here, but we have intact wax for the bees to start putting honey in. And that kind of building of the wax is one of the things that's most laborious on the bees. So if you can harvest your honey in a way that leaves most of the wax intact, they can really clean up a lot of this mess that we see here and instantly start using the old wax as a place that they can put their honey in. So this whole frame, this whole honey super box has frames just like this that are mostly filled out with wax and just need a little kind of cleaning to take care of them. So with that in mind, we're just going to pop open the top and have a quick look at some of the hive body frames. I'm only wearing gloves today because I think this is going to be a pretty quick process. I'm not planning on getting pretty invasive in there, and I've found that this hive has been pretty calm. So again, it's a warm day. We're going to be careful about popping off this top so it doesn't disrupt them too much, startle them. We got lots of calm bees hanging out right here, looking at us, moving around. We don't see really any pests. There aren't any spiders. There aren't any hive beetles. The bees look nice and healthy. I'm just evaluating them, looking to see if I can see any mites on them. Nothing right now. So I'm just going to gently take this top off. Got stung on my knee there, but bees are pretty calm. I'm going to take a second and pull this stinger out of my knee. When the stinger detaches from the bee, it obviously kills the bee, but also keeps some of the organs intact in the stinger. So the stinger is continually kind of injecting that poison into you. So if you can pull it out sooner, you're gonna have less swelling. So again, bees are pretty calm. I'm looking down through the frames and seeing that we got a lot of bees in between. I can also tell that the frames are capped just from the top. I can see the cap cells on every single set. So that's making me think we got a really healthy population of bees. They've filled up probably all the hive bodies, got the smoker going, and we're just gonna pull up one of these frames and take a peek at it. Using my hive tool. Again, things are pretty sticky today since it's hot. We're not really worried about jarring or breaking anything, but we're still trying to move real nice and slow. Make the bees feel at home. So here we have a full frame coming out. Got lots of bees working on it. We can see we have a fair bit of capped honey around the outside. And inside we have a lot of full frames of honey. Or nectar working its way to honey. Most of them are filled all the way up. We see we have a lot of bees with heads down in the frame, either putting nectar in or kind of regurgitating the nectar back in. They work that nectar in their stomachs multiple times. So enzymes can work on it, which help take the water out. Still pretty calm. And yeah, you can kind of see that edge that they're working on. They kind of like to work from finished out. So it's not a patchwork of finished and unfinished, starting at the top and sides and working their way into the middle. Flip it around to see the other side. Very similar, a little less bees, a little more capped honey. And this is a frame from the outside of the hive, or the outside edge. And so again, kind of like bees are working here from like in a distinct pattern. Usually in the hive, they work from the middle out. So that tells us that our middle frames are going to be even more capped than this one, which is again another sign of why we're putting on a honey super today. That one of the outside frames is almost done means we want to give them more space to feel like they can store more honey. That's going to stop them from swarming, splitting in half and sending half of the bees somewhere else to start a new hive, giving them the sense that they have all the space that they need in this hive to keep growing, keep putting honey into it, and have all the honey stores they need for winter. So we got a lot more bees flying around the hive right now, a lot more sound coming from inside, all signs that they're kind of feeling a little frustrated with our intrusion right now. I'm gonna pick up this honey super in a second and put it on top and kind of pack them up for the day. Again, moving slowly, even though we're on the back side of this, trying to get them packaged up. We don't want to do anything that causes them to get too angry. Just gonna set this down, make sure we're not crunching any bees, make sure it's square with the bottom hive bodies. Take our top board that still has bees hanging out on it, slide it on as well. Put a roof on. So that basic process is just going to get replicated 5 or 6 times this summer. If it's getting full, we'll probably put another super on at that point as well. Towards the end of summer, which super is closest to being filled and complete, and that might be one that we would shuffle down to the bottom and try and give them a last couple weeks to fill up and finish up. One important point is that you don't want to take a bunch of supers off at once. That's going to be really startling for the bees. We want to make them feel like they have the same amount of space. Only in the fall, when the numbers of bees are dropping, do we consider removing a bunch of supers and kind of bringing them down to the hive bodies, or the one super we're going to leave space that's going to last through the winter. Really height of summer, lots of flowers still. Good amount of rainfall recently, so we're really happy with where this hive is at and how it's going to do this summer.